talking about the state of eBay. And I guess my topic is eBay still worth it in 2022? So my personal opinion is yes, it's definitely still worth it, because especially with people without an audience, right? If you're just going to be listing an item that you're trying to get an audience to look at, traffic, then eBay is definitely worth it, because for the price of under 50 cents, you can post it to eBay's 300 million viewers. So eBay is a little bit antiquated. It's old, but it does have all the traffic. So 300 million people shopping eBay all the time. It's still where people go to look for great deals. So if you have a great item at a great price, you will 100% still be able to sell it on eBay. But I do think you want to graduate out of eBay only as soon as possible. So once you have 30 sales a day on eBay, then I feel like it's a good time for you to move to add on more income streams. So if you want to think about cross-listing, if you want to think about selling on a different platform, because that's essentially what cross-listing is, it's much better once you have 30 sales a day, because then you're making at least $300 a day. And if you're making $10 profit per item, and it gives you a lot more options. So I definitely recommend getting to 30 sales a day before you do anything else. And this may sound kind of bizarre, but 30 sales a day is easier than 5 sales a day. The reason is because the people who do 5 sales a day, they list whenever they can during their lunch break, before their kids wake up after work. However you approach it, 5 a day is maybe $50 a day. You can't start a business with that. You can't support a family with that. And you don't need a schedule for that. And the difference between people who make it on eBay and not is just a schedule. There's no difference. Everyone knows how to list an item. If you don't, I have tons of free videos on that. But getting to 30 a day doesn't happen by accident. You can't accidentally list 30 items a day. You need a plan, you need a schedule. If you want to repeat that, to do 210 a week, that's going to be either, 52 items or 42 items. What is the math? It's like 42 items Monday through Friday, or 30 all 7 days. Once you have a system like I've done endless videos on, you can do 30 listings, shipped, prepped, sorted, photographed, list, the whole thing in 3 hours. So that means you have 5 hours to look for 30 items. That's a full-time living. That's what I would recommend for people. If you're gonna do eBay, it's much easier. So for those of you joining the group, I have a couple different tiers now. I think the 0 to 10 sales a day, I would consider beginner. And we added a beginner call for everyone. So that's Monday through Friday. So people can ask, more basic questions. The 10 to 30 is sort of like the figuring out eBay model. And then over 30 now, it's a different group. And we're making I guess to me, it's not advanced eBay, but we're calling it like the advanced series. That's for people who want to have more than 30 sales a day. So it's a different demographic. Most people are under 10 sales a day, so we want to focus the content on that in the future. Do you have questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Everyone's saying hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Let us know in the chat.
Awesome.
Let us know in the chat where you're calling in from, and then if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. And if you want a super chat, you can. That'll help out the stream, but you don't have to. We will answer all your questions and go as long as it takes.
Yes. Thanks for joining in, everyone. Let's see. Comment from Michael. I sell part-time and it's working okay for me. I hope eBay does a live feature like Whatnot.
They are. So eBay is launching live. I don't know how they're going to do it. I really doubt they will let regular people like me or you live stream. But hopefully they do, because that would be awesome. And it would bring some much needed life to eBay. And if they had a bunch of celebrities live stream, then I think that they have the infrastructure to handle the traffic. I think that's what the small guys don't have. Like, they're not really plugging advertising that hard. And I think it's because they can't handle the traffic. If 1 million people try to log in the Whatnot, they'd probably break the app. But eBay can handle 300 million people at the same time. So they just need to make it a little bit more youthful. And I think they'll take over.
Hello, Kelly. She says, I'm new here. What exactly is Whatnot? Is it another selling platform? I've watched Chris for years. I just never caught him live. Welcome.
What's up? So if you are selling on Whatnot, Whatnot is a live auction platform. There's tons of websites like it. Christine and I are going to try a site called Pop Shop Live, another one. If you're not familiar with live streaming, think like QVC. And people have said that QVC has mastered the live streaming already. So, you know, doesn't need to be any more sites. Well, I kind of disagree with that because the demographic, like QVC to me is an older demographic, somebody who is at home watching at Home Shopping Network. It's a different, more higher end customer that can afford to. I always use the example of Cindy Crawford because that's what I think of. I think of a celebrity actress or actor talking about how awesome this blender or this Tupperware is, and they just sell it like crazy. And the timer goes down, so it looks like it's limited, so people, they really try to get it. So I can see that being. I don't think it's mastered though, because it's a different demographic for younger people. Like if you ask someone in high school or college, they're not shopping on QVC. So I think there's plenty of room for other people.
Workout Body says, hello, thanks for the information. I am thinking of entering into a partnership with someone in my area who owns the product. What do you advise me?
So I'm trying to figure that out myself. I have the product, and I think that's the part that people struggle with the most. So I'm looking kind of for a partner that does everything and gets paid half. So essentially what we would do is you would come run the store for me and I would provide the product, and that's it. I would not step foot in the door, because the way the tax rate works is you get taxed differently on income that's active versus income that's passive. So it would be worth it to me to put up my money, my space, my resources, teach you how to do it, etc., in order to get taxed at that lower rate as a passive owner. So I'm trying to figure that out, because I have figured out supply. I can get items into my store, so that part of it I figured out. What I would recommend is you need to be a master of eBay. That would be easier. If somebody came to me and they already knew how to do eBay perfectly, and they just need the supply, right? And they want a business where they don't have to worry about being, like, they just want a salary, or they want to make it X amount, then what I would do is have the company pay them that salary. So let's say they have a family, they need $50,000 a year to support themselves. I would make the company salary at $50K. So that way, $52,000. That way they never have to worry about getting a paycheck. So let's say we're 50-50 partners. They get a salary of $52K. I get no salary because I'm the owner. So, or half owner. The other half owner gets a salary of $52K. They get double taxed on the $52,000. At the end of the year, whatever profit minus $52,000 for their sales, we split 50-50, right? And they take, as an owner, they'd get taxed less on that half. Of whatever's left on their half, and I get taxed the lower rate on the whole amount. So what I would recommend is, if you are an expert operator, then you can step in. But for what I've seen from other businesses, usually the operator also has to buy in. So like, if you own a shop and you're the manager, sometimes the owner of the company will require you to put in your own money and buy part of the company, so you have some skin in the game. That way you don't have you have somebody who really cares about making the business work. And if you're looking for a partnership, it's very difficult, because some people say the only ship that doesn't float is a partnership. It's very difficult, because you have to have a relationship where one person can make the ultimate decision if necessary. A 50-50 partnership is very difficult to pull off. Like, I have a 50-50 partnership with my colleague Tech and Sports, who's the biggest men's clothing seller in the world. And it's actually pretty amazing that we have a 50-50 relationship. Essentially what we're doing is we're constantly communicating every day, constantly saying, hey, look, you need to do this, you need to do that. Make sure the responsibilities are equal. If you have a partnership, the communication needs to be amazing. You need to over-communicate all the time. Let people know what's going on in the business, what needs improvement, what they need help with. Because if you don't have that communication, you will struggle to one person will feel like they're doing more work, and that doesn't work. It's the same as in a relationship with your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, children. You can't have it be one-sided, because then it will not work. The communication will break down, and it will fail.
Retro Smurf is asking, I still use HTML for my description. It looks nicer, but it highlights the wrong area in the preview. Should I switch to the standard description instead?
I would. I wouldn't use HTML, because eBay is trying to be mobile friendly. And sometimes if it gets clogged up, I imagine they don't show your listings as often because it's bandwidth heavy. So they are trying to save space because they have over 1 billion listings. So they're going to promote people who have quality listings in simpler formats. Because, especially since more than half of the sales happen now on the cell phone. So yeah.
Christian is asking, how can I get an eBay store review from you?
So we just added that process yesterday.
Nice.
I don't know if the link is live yet, but in the Patreon on the main page, so once you log in, look at the pinned post, it'll have a document going over all the different calls we have each week. And in there will be a link to submit your store for review. So what you do is you pick a listing that you just recently did, and it will ask you a series of questions like, what are you working on? What do you need help with specifically? Title, photographs, whatever. And then the both of us wrote the description, although Tech handled the heavy lifting yesterday, and he went heavy and basically ironed out exactly what you need to do to make your listings sell. So it's all of our recommendations. So essentially you submit your listing, we'll review it. And also there's 2 calls that you can get help on. You can get help from me directly and ask, oh, can you clarify this? Or there's a beginner call right after the main call in the morning, and I can help you directly after you get your store review. But the process is join the Patreon at patreon.com/theresourcepodcast at the $34 level. Request access to the Facebook group so you can post information. Then after that, go to the pinned document, submit your review, sign up for the accountability document to keep track of how many listings you do each day. I update that every single Monday. So you would go in there and say, my goal is 10, my goal is 20. That's where you would go there.
Mm-hmm. I believe the link is in the bio.
The link is the first link in the description.
Mm-hmm. Hustle Shark is asking, when you photograph items to list, is it in piles of just certain items such as jeans, shirts, etc., or is it mixed?
Yes. So right now I'm preparing the station for my eBay lister, and a couple of huge game changers. Okay, first off, the photographer also does the listings. This is major. Okay, so if you separate those tasks out, one person photographs and one person lists, there's some data that's lost in the translation. So I have 2 types of pictures that I take. One is pants, so bottoms, and the other is tops. And dresses is one of my categories, and dresses I consider a top because they photograph the same. So there's 2 piles in this box, uppers and bottoms, and that's how we separate it. 2 piles, but it's in the same area. My lady does not need to move at all to get it.
Saheen is saying, took my creating 5 quality listings a day for a week. Haven't noticed a difference in sales or traffic. Any advice?
Do it for 10 years. That's
a little bit longer than a week.
You just barely started. It's like eating one salad and saying, oh, I didn't lose any weight yet. Or I ate salad for a week. That doesn't matter. That's insignificant. 1 week is enough to start seeing some sales. So if you don't have any sales and you've listed 35 items, I would get a listing review, find out what's wrong with your listings. Could be price, title, pictures, description, payment. You could be below standard.
Itself.
What?
It could be the item itself.
It could be the item itself. So that's a ridiculously small sample size. So that's the same as eating a salad once for a week. It's not gonna affect your weight.
Raimundo says, what's your opinion on the new beta listing? We tried it and hate it. Return to normal listing. We have a glitch on item description section. Any thoughts on your experience?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I think that use the classic until they get rid of it, and then when they force us all to use the beta, then we'll get to that. But right now, I don't think eBay will ever get rid of the Classic because too many people use it. So there's even larger sellers who have threatened leaving if they. Not that eBay really cares. They're so big. You could be making Jack Shang, the guy that was making 61 or 40, either 41 or 61 million dollars on eBay. He requested some changes. Like his opinion actually matters, and they said no. So he moved to Amazon. So they don't care. They lost 41 million dollars of business. They just don't care. That's how big they are. So it's not like you can request a change, or all of us could request a change and they would do it. You know, eBay's got different plans for how they want to do things, and it's not based on. They do listen to sellers. It just doesn't affect what they do.
Why do they listen to?
They
you?
listen.
Not
They
do what you
listen.
think about it.
Yeah, Amazon, they don't listen, and they tell you we don't care what you think, and we're just going to do whatever we want. So they do listen, though. If that makes you feel better.
Young Soldier is asking, does Mercari give you more traffic if you list every day like eBay?
Mercari front loads the traffic. So what that means is if you want 100 views on Mercari, you'll probably get it the first 2 days, and then the traffic will drop off because they really heavily favor newly listed. Poshmark, they heavily favor recently shared. eBay heavily favors best deal for the customer. So Mercari is different. If I was on Mercari only, what I would do is I would get software that would delist my item and relist it on Mercari, so you can get that 100 views again. Which is a huge waste of time, because then each time you delist, relist, your hourly rate goes down. So you make less and less money over time. So I don't recommend Mercari at all. Mercari paid me $5,000 to make a video telling people I don't use Mercari and it's only for buying. Like, they're okay with that. They're like, we should use our site to buy stuff. They're not designed to be a seller platform. They don't have a lot. There's no way to easily run a sale. There's no way to, you can't even list more than one of the same item. You have to relist an item twice if you have two of them. That's like a huge pain in the ass. If you're a company, how come you can't list the same item again? So Mercari is totally for buying, not selling. It's for selling a few things around the house, getting that quick traffic and moving it. It's not for building a business like eBay. Very different.
Chad says, I'd like to learn more of the entrepreneur mindset / strategy that leads to success beyond selling on eBay and can carry me to other platforms, etc.
Boom.
Any content suggestions?
You ready? Okay. So this is the short answer. I love this question, okay? Because here's the thing. A lot of people, I think, are just trying to get by, okay? So they just want to make enough so they don't have to work a 9 to 5, that they don't want to, they make a little extra money on the side. If that is your goal, it doesn't matter what content you watch, because just getting by is not that hard. All you have to do is essentially sell a couple items here or there, go to any garage sale, find anything that's profitable. You don't need any systems, you don't need any strategy. That's just the worker bee mentality. Okay, everyone smash a like button, because this is really major. I want to make a video separately with Christine on this today. If you want to get ahead, okay, that's the entrepreneur mindset. Just getting by, that's every 99% of people. Getting ahead, the entrepreneur mindset's different. That means you consume everything. You're watching today I was watching a video on how somebody runs 100 laundromats. They're making $100,000 a month income. I'm interested in that. How does somebody make $1 million a year? That person has the same 24 hours in the day as me. Somebody, beat the bush. I just watched him again on the Graham Stephan show. He's retired. He's 41 years old, no longer needs to work. I'm interested in what he does with his time, because that's what happens. You're to the point when you grow past 30 items a day, and you're making $300 a day, you should be able to live on $300 a day, unless you really suck financially, because that's $100,000 a year. You should be able to live a normal lifestyle and get pretty much anything you want. After 30 sales a day, though, you don't just stop. You keep going. Then you have different alternatives. You can get something a little bit more passive than eBay working. Like, eBay is very active. It's an active sport, right? So if you're trying to look for the entrepreneur mindset, you consume everything. Everything to get a little bit ahead is the entrepreneur mindset. Entrepreneurial people don't think, am I done yet? Are we there yet? That's a worker bee. Like, can I get my paycheck now? Have I made any sales yet? I listed 5. Where's my money? that person's gonna 100% fail. That person who put, I listed 5 items for a week, where's my money? They should just go get a job at Starbucks or as a janitor, because it's guaranteed money. You mop the floor, you get money. On eBay, you can mop the floor for a week and get no money. You have to be okay with that and learn, why is this not making any money? And you have to be genuinely interested in how things work. I'm super interested in how things work. I want people to make a lot of money who are listening to this channel. This channel's for people who want to get ahead. If you just want to get by, you can watch anything. Doesn't matter.
So searching out more advice from
Yeah,
all
you want to
different-
learn from everybody, and
Yeah,
you want to
learn.
learn how everything works. Like, you know, Christine and I want to make some merch for everyone. What kind of merch do people want? Do they want hoodies? Do they want something that's actually useful? Do you want a fanny pack with all of your reseller tools in it, like a scale, a ruler, you know, maybe an extra phone charger, so when you're going out, you don't run out of battery. These are the kind of, like, there has to be some kind of value production made, but we want to know why. Like, if we make a merch that nobody buys, we failed. We want to do something that is actually useful for people, and you know, it's really important.
Silewek Elo is saying, are flat lay photos superior to modeled photos? I want to cross-list to eBay as I'm already selling on another platform,
Yep.
but taking flat lay photos would mean extra work.
I think modeled photos are deceiving because they don't, because that you're not the same shape as the model. I would prefer flat lay clothing on any platform. Even the big guys, like, take a look at Gap, Banana Republic, Nike. Most of their photos are not model photos. They're flat lay photos, so people can see how it lays, what the shape of it is. If you're looking to reduce returns, if you want a lot of returns, do like Anthropology and have a beautiful model in a meadow. She's jumping in the air. She's got a beautiful boyfriend in the background. The brand new Land Rover, the cheetah in the background. That cost $15,000 to make that photo. Now they charge $300 for a dress. That's that model. If you're just a regular reseller, it's a waste of time to do modeled photos because the returns will go up, especially on a used item. You want to present the item, in my opinion, as accurately and as low key as possible, because once you start, I've done modeled photos before. In the other unit, I have 3 ghost mannequins that we can take insane photos of, but then when the person gets it, they're not in the best shape. They don't have the best lighting. They put it on, they're gonna be disappointed. So I'm trying to reduce returns. And every single platform, unless you're a retailer and you have 10 of the same one, I don't agree with taking modeled photos. It takes way too long. Way too long.
Robin Marie says, your guidance and expertise has helped me so much on my new journey of reselling.
Love it.
Your wealth of knowledge is amazing. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
B says, hey Chris, I have just got out of below standard, but my shipping time is messed up as I didn't take eBay seriously at the start.
Yep.
Should I start again from zero like you did with Resell Nirvana store?
No, well, yes, start over, but use your current store, because your old store will suffer from your new store will suffer from your old store because they're connected. You can't escape that. So unfortunately, you have to go, just fix your current store. It doesn't take that long. It takes only 1 or 2 months to go back. If you want to, and plus the age of your store matters. So if you have an older store, it will get more traffic than a younger store. So I don't recommend starting a new store because eBay will know it's still you.
Doyle Warehouse is saying, what is the fabric you use on your backgrounds?
The fabric that I use is in my blog, dailyrefinement.com. You can scroll down to the fabric and it will tell you which one to buy at Joann's.
Yeah. Also, it's in the photo box
It's in the photo tutorial. Yep. How to build a custom photo box.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, Castleman Vlogs. He's talking about when you were discussing how eBay might figure out who will be doing their lives, like on eBay. He says probably will be some sort of benchmark for sellers to be able to live stream, like total number of items sold plus feedback rating or seller rating, maybe.
I don't think they're going to let the public do it.
No?
No, they're not. They're very corporate, and they don't want to rock the boat, and they don't care about maximizing profit. I think eBay has already made their money, and they're kind of just chilling. They're not really. They're definitely not. The only thing they've innovated is how to charge us more. They have not actually made the website better. The website looks the same as when I started using it. There's really nothing different that's major except for the promoted listings. They've come out with 10 different variations of it so they can charge us more. It's a way for them to earn more money without doing a better job, unfortunately.
OG Power says, do you iron the clothing before photographing?
I do not. Once it is cleaned, it gets folded here. And because it's just recently washed, if you let it sit flat for a few hours, all the wrinkles will come out. So, no, I do not iron the clothing, although I do have a Jiffy steamer back there with the hook, and that's, if I had something really nice that I wanted to iron, I could, but I'm in the everyday value category.
Mom of 3 says, when is the best time to list?
Every day. So it doesn't matter because you get a 24-hour boost. If
Yeah,
you're going to
anytime
do
of day.
auctions, you want them to end in the late afternoon, early evening, so everyone is at home. But most people are not doing auctions. I don't recommend auctions for people because most people are not experts, and it requires an expert to navigate when to post, what items sell on auction, what to price it at, whether or not to set a reserve. That's all stuff that requires more expertise.
Unfiltered says, hey Chris, thanks for everything. Does scheduling 5 listings a day work the same with the eBay algorithm as manually listing?
It does. I would recommend scheduling up 21 days in the future. It's relatively cheap. It's only 10 cents to list in the future. And then you can be ahead. If you want to take a 3-week vacation, because most people want to do that, then do that. So I want to know, let me know in the chat, guys, what you think is a reasonable amount of vacation per year. Like, you're working hard, you're doing what you want to do. Like, it's different for everyone. Some people don't like vacation and they don't want to do it. Some people love it. Some people live for it. My wife and I are probably going to start doing a little bit more vacation once, now that our daughter is older. Once she can start walking around, I'm excited to take her on more trips. So let me know, what is a reasonable amount of vacation per year? I personally think, this is kind of extreme, but I think 2 months of vacation would be perfect. 2 months of vacation and then 10 months of working your ass off. That's what I think is legit. Because if you are vacationing all the time, like my friend Beat the Bush, you become very disillusioned because you have all this extra time. And he just said he was a lot more unhappy when he was retired. So he has gone. Maybe I can get him to work here because he's a lot happier when he's working towards a specific goal. And when you're retired and don't need to do anything, you feel kind of worthless.
Jennifer Ramirez, what is your advice to find good amount of inventory but not clothes? I'm sure you get asked this a lot.
Sure. So let me know in the chat, guys, how many items per week are you looking for? So if I was not looking for clothes, I would go thrifting, garage sailing, flea market. I would pick a niche like electronics, video games, hard goods, etc. And I think that the best photo setup for hard goods is a light box. It's not very complicated. They're not very expensive. They're about $50. You can get an inexpensive light box on eBay or Amazon. Set it up. And if you want, you can get the top off your light box and put it outside. And now you have a perfect outdoor natural lighting. And I would just find the best items that I could, especially if you're an everything seller. I would do thrifting, garage sailing, flea market. And if you're really specific, you could do online arbitrage. Also another plug, I'm looking for another person to work here. So if you guys know somebody in Oakland, California that's willing to work in Jack London Square, I'm paying $25 an hour and you'll start as a contractor, and if it works out, I'll convert you to a W-2 employee. And I'm not looking to train somebody how to do this. I'm looking for somebody who wants to make $50,000 a year with a stable job. If you're like, yo, I'd love to learn how to resell. Nope. YouTube channel, free. Learn how to resell for free. Don't waste both of our times.
Resale Dojo.
Yep. What's up, Steve? I think that's Steve.
He says, if you could slap one platform, which one would it be?
Slap? None of them. I would slap myself. There's no, because all those platforms, they do a good job of whatever they're trying to do. Like Mercari wants to be a great buying platform for people to sell consumer goods. That's great. Poshmark wants to be social media plus. They want people to share all day. Good for them. I would never slap a platform. Only myself.
Oh, we just got a super chat.
Nice.
Thank you, Nothing New Thrifts.
Thank you.
Just had a 6-piece sale this morning. Choosing a category has been game-changing. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah, you can get the multi-sale, and that's really the secret to this business. That's what most people will never be patient enough in one category to the point where they get multiple sales. But once you do that, like let's say your goal is to sell 30 items a day at $10 profit. You could get to the point. I don't have this yet, but my colleague, Tech and Sports, every single day he has somebody buy 30 items at $10 profit or more. One customer. So I mean, that's like I said, it's not that easy to spend $300 a day every day. So he's just the repeat customers alone, he no longer needs the work.
Galaxy Now says, do you have any recommendations / experience for buying goods cheap in the USA and export them to Europe?
No, I don't have any. I know how to buy items cheap in the USA, but I don't know how to export them.
David De La Cruz says, have you tried Vinted yet?
I have. Vinted's cool, Grailed's cool, but they're very niche specific. And I'm not really running a boutique. So what I consider a boutique is, let's say Christine and I go to the UK and we visit Harrods. If you guys can go to the UK and go to Harrods, it's awesome. They have these shopping salons you go to, you get in there, they make you a cup of tea and they bring you stuff that you can buy, right? That's amazing. That's not this, okay? This is like, don't talk to me, as little questions as possible, under $20. I'll give you a good deal. Free returns. If you have a problem, don't call me. Just send it back. If you're gonna be on Vinted or Grailed or what's that great one? Tradesy. You're a boutique. You can offer that hand-to-hand amazing service. Like I got this vintage double RL piece with this beautiful horseman on it. $600. Okay. That's very different. You only need to find 1 or 2 of those a day. That's a different customer than me. So all those sites are more for the boutique buyer. And to be honest, I don't think that many people have that much money to spend $600 on a polo. So I find the reason why I bring up double RL is because that's the brand that I find that when I search Google, Vinted always pops up. Someone's got a double RL something, right? So I got a double RL button-down shirt, flannel, red. On Vinted, someone was asking $650, right? I posted it on eBay and took an offer of $125. I don't care. I don't need the wait. I don't want to wait. The person probably still has it. Like, I'm not here to admire my clothing. It's at this point I'm numb. I don't care about the clothing anymore. I just want to get people a good deal. Plus, I want to give people a good deal so they come back. I have like a ridiculous amount of repeat customers. So I want to give people a good deal so they can keep coming back. That's why you guys are watching this channel, because I gave you a good deal on the last free video, gave you another free video. That's why you guys are here.
Texas Flipped says, is there any way to talk to eBay by phone? I tried to get help on Droid twice, but no luck and took a loss. Yeah, you can. I would recommend, if you need to talk to eBay a lot, get the Anchor store. It's $300. You will get US support. But in the eBay app, most of the time, there is an option to call eBay, or I would try eBay for Business. eBay for Business is a fantastic Facebook group. You can go in there and chat with them or message DM them, and they'll respond to you quickly.
Amazing. Mother. Oh, this I gotta wash, I think. So
Um,
here's an example of an item that was washed and needs to be washed again because I want to redo this because this is a brand mother. Let me see it.
Yeah.
I just sold one Thursday for $69. So this is like, okay, at least they made a tiny bit of effort this time and they put an M on the butt. But like normally this brand is really stupid. It's like literally the same quality as Old Navy or worse. Okay? This little embroidered M, it's the same color, it doesn't even stand out. This is probably like $300 new. I don't get it. So that one's worth re-washing so I can get that stain out.
Let's see. Scott from CT. I sell part-time at night after work.
Nice.
I sell sports cards, collectibles, memorabilia, and vintage toys.
Nice.
Should I continue to be all in on eBay? I have 1,200 feedback, been selling for 1.5 years.
Depends on what your overall goal is. If you want to replace your income, you can definitely do that on eBay. If you want to grow an empire, then I would start working on larger buys because that really is the key. You can only make as much money as what you can buy in a week. That's why I want people to put in the chat, how many items do you want to buy each week? And how many items are you currently buying each week? So I'll be transparent with you guys. I'm buying between 600 and 1,200 pieces per week. And I would like to really boost that up. I think, and that's why I think it was interesting because I was texting Tech and Sports this morning and asking about, because he was saying that 100 items a day, which is kind of where I'm at, you kind of need a brick and mortar to sell the junk that comes in when you buy bulk. That scares me because I'd rather have another Christine than like the overhead of a store and then have to deal with people coming in. And there's like new headaches that begin with that. But it might make sense because if you have a store, inventory will also come to you. So what do I recommend for you as a part-time card seller? Try going full-time first or trying to get to 30 items a day part-time is fantastic because then you'll be making a full-time income in addition to your normal job. And you can use that to leverage and it's like, and there's a bunch of people in the group that make $100,000 a year plus their job. That's like super early retirement mode.
So stick on eBay.
Stick on eBay. If you want to try another platform, I would say do it after you get the 30 sales a day.
Not sure if it's vintage, says. Question, do you use markdown sales? If so, can you recommend markdown sales cycles? For example, 2-day sale, 1 day off?
I would say every 45 days, discount your items more. That's it. So discount them every 45 days or every 30 days, depending on, so like if I have an item for 6 months, I discount it three times every 6 weeks. But you could, I discount it, 3 times. But if you could discount it 6 times, if you're more aggressive and you want your item to move quicker. So discount it periodically at the same rate so that you can keep track of it easily. So as Tech and Sports would recommend, have it on the 15th or the 1st, ending and starting, so that you know, oh, it's that time of the month. Not that time of the month, but the time of the month to change your eBay sale.
Jennifer Ramirez says, how many items listed do you start to see consistent sales?
I started getting consistent sales at 50 items. Once I got to 50 items, I was getting at least 1 sale a day. When I was just starting, when I had 100 items, I had seven sales a day. So if you're not getting sales at 50 to 100 listings, then you need to go back and figure out what's wrong before you grow. But I would say if I listed 10 items today, 1 item would sell by tomorrow. In the beginning, you have so much like power and energy and focus, you can sell your items so quickly because you're right on the money. So I would say you get regular sales starting at 50 items.
KDeb Collector says, I just started eBay and they give me 10 items. How do you work with that?
Sell those 10 items and they'll give you 20 the next time. Sell those 20 items and they'll give you 50 the next time. I did that for 2 months and it went to 5,000 items. So just be patient, do a good job. If they give you 10 and you sell 0, they're not going to increase your limit. It's paying your dues. You've got to get in there, show them what you got, and then call back in or email them and they'll raise your limit.
Lindsay Paris says, Chris, I've grown my store to where I'm selling a minimum of 10 to 15 a day now.
Nice.
I'm having major surgery in June and don't want to close my store. Do you think it's okay to hire one part-time helper? Thanks.
You can, but also don't worry about closing your store because it'll turn back on after a week. That's been my experience. If you are a 10 to 15 listing gal and you take 2 weeks off or a month off or 2 months off or in extreme cases 6 months off, turn your store off, come back, start listing your regular amount for 7 days and your store will turn back on. It's undefeated. We haven't seen a store list consistently for a week that already has sales. Like if you suck at selling, listing more doesn't work. But if you were already good at selling, because you are, 10 to 15 sales a day is very good, then you had a surgery or you had a family situation or you went on vacation and came back, a week later eBay will forgive you and their store will go back on. Like, we're all human. That's been my experience.
Thank you for the super chats.
Thank you.
Shenku says, got my listing taken down for policy issues, but I see other eBay stores making bank on the same type of item. Does eBay favor big label stores selling restricted items?
No, but they may have permission. So you don't know, but they may have permission to sell the item. And I've noticed that, especially with, I've noticed here's another pair of mother jeans.
Different kind of label this
time. I've noticed that when you have, let's use the example of Louis Vuitton, okay? If you've never listed an item and you list the Louis Vuitton item, it's probably going to get removed and you'll be suspended for either 3 days, 7 days, or permanently, because that's like the typical behavior of a scam artist. You may not be, but that's a typical behavior. Come in, sell one expensive item, run away. So if you have a long history of selling lots of items and you look like you're an expert, they'll give you more leeway and they won't suspend you or remove your item. But everyone speeds and only a few people get caught is a good way to look at that. There's tons of counterfeits on eBay just because of the volume of the website. So there's tons of counterfeits everywhere. Like, people love it. I'm not a fan to it though. I think you should not wear fakes. I think because I'm a fan of commerce, and when people wear fakes, it harms the whole market.
Yeah.
Don't wish it were cheaper. Wish you made more money. That's how I look at it. Like, I don't look at the cost of a Ferrari and be like, that's so unfair. $250,000 for a car. Who has that kind of? I don't think like. I just think, okay, you can easily afford a car that's 1/7 of your income. So lots of people make $1.4 million a year, and $250,000 for a car is no big deal. So how do I get there? Can you imagine how stupid you would feel, like, outside of Ferrari, begging them to lower their prices? They're not going to do that. If anything, they raise their prices. I remember when the hybrid Porsche came out, and it was like $600,000. And they're like, how can you guys price your items so high? And the guy was like, we didn't even price it high enough. We sold out before they didn't even land at the showrooms. They sold out as soon as we announced it at $600-something thousand. So I don't know. It's just kind of mind blowing to me. Don't wish things were cheaper. I find that so weird. Like, also, another side note, everyone smash the like button, and hopefully people are putting in the chat how many items they want to find each week, sell each week. But Dang, I forgot my thought. I had a banger. So we'll have to get back to it later.
Hopefully we'll get back to
We'll
it.
get back to it.
Natural Lay says, sorry if this has been asked already. How important is it to fill in all the item specifics?
Okay, so this is a big part of our store review process. But you want to fill in the... Sorry,
There's
we're in
the
California. You want to fill in all the item specifics that are relevant to your customer. So let me give you an example. Pair of jeans, right? What do I fill out? I fill out rise. I fill out waist measurement in inches. I fill out inseam measurement in inches. I fill out if it's boot cut, if it's straight cut. I fill out what color it is. I fill out if it's solid or striped. Those are important. Do I fill out whether it's modern or vintage? Yes. So the vintage, yes or no, I fill that out. Do I fill out whether or not this is Power Ranger theme? No. That one is not relevant. Don't type in anything in there. Don't make up anything. Just leave it blank. You will not get the circle with the lightning bolt in it, which is stupid. So don't worry about that. If you enter in stuff that doesn't matter, it will push you down in the ranking.
Yeah.
So people will write in there
NA, N/A, not applicable.
not applicable.
Yeah. Don't do that.
One person, well, Matt, he put steampunk on every single pair of his jeans. So like when you search for steampunk jeans, all of his will come up, but they're not steampunk. So someone out there who's looking for steampunk jeans is very angry because they cannot find it because that person just made it up.
Flooded the
market.
The search, yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Looking for deals? Your thoughts on the Shop Safe Act? Seen a lot of resellers on IG worrying about it. Should we?
Oh my God, this is so meaningless. Don't worry about that. It doesn't matter. Just focus on getting a consistent listing habit. All the people that are worried on Instagram are just, you know what's really weird is you don't even get paid on Instagram for likes. Like if you're gonna make something salacious or ridiculous or like I don't know. If you're posting something to get the likes, it's unfortunate because you don't even get paid. So don't worry about people who are, okay, actually this is some news for you guys. There's always bad news. Always bad news no matter what you're doing because bad news sells. But the only real bad news is you missing your listing goal. So as long as you're listing, there's no bad news.
Just keep on.
Don't worry about
going.
it. That's a meaningless thing to distract you. It doesn't affect sales at all.
Thank you, Lenore Crossman, for the super chat as well.
Appreciate
She
you.
says, thank you for the valuable knowledge you provide. I appreciate you. P.S. Your daughter is delightful.
Thank you. She's awesome. She made a guest appearance this morning on our call.
Oh, yeah?
She is very adorable and she's 20 pounds. She's 28 inches long. I was looking at all these statistics for her. She seems pretty good. She can kind of stand. She's really good at fake crying, but she knows that I know. She really knows that I know. Because if I look at her and she's making the crying noise, but there's no tears, it's fake. She just wants attention, which is fine. And I'm trying to teach her that there are other ways to get my attention than crying. She should just politely ask, and I will go help her. But she's very smart already, which I can tell she's going to be a lot of work when she gets older.
Thank you again for another super chat. My goodness. XXX James 32
What's up?
says, what is a good click-through rate? I have gotten my conversion rate to 2.7, but CTR is staying at 0.3.
So what's the first number?
2.7 is the conversion rate.
2.7 is the conversion rate. So that's very high. You normally see like 1 to 2%. The highest click-through rate I've seen is 6%. It depends on what you're selling. Like, I'll give you guys an example right now. This brand is really hard for me to find. It's Dixon. I see it a lot in Arizona. People in Arizona tend to find this a lot. This probably has a really high click-through rate because there's not very many on eBay. Maybe you guys can look it up right now on eBay and let me know what you think this is worth. This is a Western button-down Dixon. It's flannel. It's size small. Okay, so I want to go through this exercise right now. I want you guys to search Dixon flannel. right, on eBay and see how many there are. It's probably not that. Let me know in the chat how many there are. But the click-through rate's going to be really high, probably, because there's not that many of these shirts. So you know, especially, and let me know how many size small. Probably not that many. As a small Dixon shirt wearer, maybe you only have 10 choices. Maybe you click on all of them. So maybe that one is 100% click-through rate. But if it's really saturated, like a Banana Republic shirt, the click-through rate is probably horrible. It's probably 0.2, and the conversion rate is probably 1 to 2%. It depends on what you're selling. If you want it to go higher, just change what you're selling.
So T. Joe says, I had a buyer purchase a $500 receiver, refuse it at the door, and when it was returned to me, it was destroyed. I contacted eBay and they told me to contact UPS. I contacted UPS and they told me to contact eBay. I was trying to collect on insurance that I had purchased. No luck.
The insurance is collected from UPS, not from eBay. So what I would do is get the proof of purchase from eBay, just so you have it, and then file a claim with UPS. That's how you get your money back. So you don't have to talk to anybody. You can file a claim online.
One Disciple 79 says, Chris, thank you for all that you do. I only ship in the States. Would you recommend international shipping?
Yes, I would use a global shipping program at the very least. And depending on how much time you have, you could run the other international options like eBay International, or shipping direct to the customer is also great. But yeah, I recommend international shipping because, believe it or not, there are more shoppers on eBay outside of the United States than inside of the United States. So that's why I should translate all of my YouTube videos into Spanish, because I get that question all the time. And yeah, I should translate all of my YouTube videos into Spanish because it would get a lot more views.
Dragon says, Chris, I started watching your videos about 14 months ago, currently at 3K plus items with 3.5K profit per month plus my full-time job. Thanks for everything that you do. Forever grateful.
Nice. So that's almost the 1K income plus the regular job. That's a very good to hear. So that person's essentially almost getting 2 incomes. So hopefully they can adjust their listings a little bit to get to 4 to 5K per month, or let's see, or maybe grow the store to 4,000 or 5,000 items to make the same amount. Both of those methods are great. We are going to go live on Whatnot on Thursdays, so shout out for that, to launch one-off items, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the rest of my shoes, about 50 pairs, and I'm going to do some mystery lots because I got some really cool stuff that I think that would be fun. So shout out to my auctions. Follow me on Whatnot. You go to my Instagram and get that code so you can get $10 free, and then check us out. Everything starts at $1.
Big Drift says Dixon is a fantastic brand, but the pattern really matters, and they make limited edition shirts.
So, I guess let me ask: is this one good? This is this is a basic flannel. It's brown. I don't know if they all have this cuff. I know it sells well because I see ridiculous comps in our group. Maybe this is too basic of a pattern. This does not look limited edition. It does have the pearl snaps, but I don't imagine that is a rare one.
Juan says, I don't have a niche on eBay, but I've been saving all my high-dollar gym shoes, clothing, and collectibles to post all at once to try and get repeat customers. Is that the way to go without a niche? No.
You just post everything as soon as you get it when you're learning to get to a niche. And eventually you will start listing the same kinds of items regularly. Doing it all at one time doesn't matter. That's like working out one time. You can't save up all your workouts and do it on Sunday, and it doesn't work as well as just working out every single week forever.
So just start doing it.
Just
start
listing
doing it consistently.
Yep.
What you have.
Does anybody? I don't think this is a logo of anything, but what do you guys think? Is anything?
Looks like a moon with an A or something.
Yeah, don't know what that is.
Let us know if you guys know what that is. Let's see. Benito says, do you recommend to always have a sale running on your items plus a coupon discount?
For most people, no, because they need to work on their listing habit first before they work on promotions. But a sale will give you a boost in the ranking. So most of the time I have a sale running, or more than one sale running. But again, it just comes down to like, there's a lot of work. So I recommend, if you're going to use a markdown, have it be a real markdown versus when I first started, I always had a fake sale running, and I ran it, and I just don't do that anymore. It takes too much time. I'd rather just list more items. So some people, like, they want $100 for the item, so they'll list it at $150 and do 33% off. Customers are not stupid. They know that that is not the real price. And it does take more time, and you have to think about it, and I just don't recommend doing that. No fake sales.
Come and Take It says, just found your channel and love it.
Thank you.
I'm worried about Vero strikes on eBay. There doesn't seem to be a complete list of items to stay away from.
We have a pretty good list in our group. Can I move back here?
Yes, we can. We're traveling.
There's not a very good list on eBay of Veros, but we have a pretty good one in our group. Just search Vero in our Facebook group, and it'll pull up the most commonly verified rights complainers. But what I would do, just as a quick search, if you don't want to join the group, just type in Vero and the brand in the Google, and if there's a lot of people complaining about it, then don't list it. Just send it into the Real if it's really a nicer brand, or wholesale it on Instagram or something and just get a little bit of money. I recommend with high-end brands, if you're afraid of Vero, just take some of the money. Don't try to get all the money, because you don't have a reputation yet. So people won't trust you, and you can get in trouble.
Lisa says, hi there, you say to list every day, but
Yep.
what items should I get? You just get random items?
Absolutely not. Do not list random items. You have to list items that people want to buy, that have proof of selling before.
Yeah.
So as an example, any brand at the mall has sales history, because those companies spend millions of dollars on marketing. Those are going to be fantastic things to buy. You're going to need to look at the how many are listed versus how many are sold. Do not list random items and then tell me that you listed every day. I did not say that. You have to list quality items every single day, and the quality item is an item that sells in 90 days or less for $10 profit or more. That's what I consider a quality item. So if you list an item, not $10 profit, takes longer than 3 months to sell, that's not, I didn't say that.
Jay Avila says, hey Chris, small question.
Yep.
Listing trading cards that are brand new, but condition answer when listing is either a dash or quote unquote used. Does that affect a listing in terms of searchability?
I think what I would do is I would click on the solds and see how many are sold in the new category and how many are sold in the pre-owned category. And I would kind of put it in whichever category has more sales. So as an example, you open a pack of cards, it's pack fresh, right? You just open it and put it right into the sleeve. It's not really new because you opened the package. So I consider new something that hasn't been opened. So some people would consider that new because the condition is new, but fingers have touched it. So I would consider that pre-owned. And my guess is I would list it in the pre-owned category and just put pack fresh, mint, near mint in the title. They opened up that Michael Jordan rookie card box yesterday. Drake did for $300,000 for that box. That is crazy. So it's always cool looking at how insane reselling is. And you know, I'm small potatoes, so it's cool looking at large potatoes like Drake.
Not sure if it's vintage, says Chris. Sorry, there's the tray.
Yeah, sorry. We got train, alarms, car break-ins.
Chris, do you have a spirit animal? You can pick two.
I don't. Christina's my spirit animal. I don't have one yet.
Wasn't it a squirrel?
It's a squirrel, yeah, that's true. We tried to order some squirrels. I don't want that to be my squirrel, a spirit animal, but maybe it's true.
It needs to be more
it's
fierce.
It's more accurate.
You liked huskies.
I like huskies, but
husky / squirrel.
Also, I'm not moving into like that questionable of a neighborhood, but it is still in Oakland. So a lot of people have recommended a guard dog. So I'm thinking German Shepherd. But I don't know what you guys think is a good guard dog. I want a big dog. I don't like little dogs are okay, but because my wife and I pet sit probably 2 weeks a year, and sometimes we pet sit my brother who has a toy poodle. Not as fun as the big dog in my opinion, because you could also the pet or the toy poodle is only 6 pounds, so like you can't really cuddle it without hurting it. So you gotta like, I want a big dog.
You want a big dog?
I want a big dog.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind like a Burmese or anything
Really?
huge. Yeah, I like
That's a
it.
really big dog.
That's a really big dog.
Thank you for the super chat, Sheku
Thank you.
Kusakabe. Thank you so much for answering my question in regards to Vero and the OTC policy. Is there a correlation between maturity of an eBay seller account and selling those items?
Yes. If you have a long history of selling an item, the brand will be less likely to call you out for a Vero. And a Vero is where the verified rights owner is calling in the question whether or not your item is real. Could be real. They might still call it in the question though. So eBay is more worried about pissing off GoPro or OtterBox or Nike or Tory Burch than you. So if Tory Burch says, I don't like it, they just remove it.
Deher says Chihuahuas are vicious.
Chihuahuas are vicious and totally, they are. We'll just leave it at that.
Just leave it at
We'll leave it at that. They are.
Let's see. Mike C says, I price at trending or higher and
Yep.
get great sales.
Love it.
If I couldn't compete with his lower pricing and others, my graph would be a flat line.
Well, this is my opinion on that. eBay likes to make money. So if you have a history of listing items at fantastic value, you can charge a little bit more. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I overcharge all the time. So I don't compete only on prices. Almost all of my items, you can find a cheaper version of it. I'm like in the middle. So I'm not the highest price. I'm not the lowest price either.
NFL says, I'm still new. I have around 100 items from the house listed. I get about a sale a day. I list 5 items a day, and I
Nice.
see traction happening. I find it extremely fun also. Thanks for the help.
That is the 100 items in one sale a day. Amazing. Everyone, please do that. Take your time. It's fun when you have 100 items and you sell 1 a day. It's not fun when you have 400 items and sell 0 a day. Take your time, be slow, sell stuff around the house that you bought yourself. That is a great story. Great story. I would buy you a beer.
Shaifik Napper says, any advice for being the first to sell an item in a specific niche? For example, Japanese Digimon cards. Is it worth being the first one to a specific market?
Absolutely. It's best to be first or last. So if you have the only one left on Earth, you have really good odds of selling it. If you were the last man on Earth, be more desirable to women. It's all about supply and demand. So if you're first, right, you always get the most price because you get the early adopter. The person that's trying to be cool will always pay the most money. That's why the first PlayStation 6 will sell for $100,000. So right now, you can start planning and be the very first PlayStation 6 sold. You get 100 grand for it. Then the market will flood and they'll be worth 2,000 in the beginning when resellers are getting to it. And then as the market starts to cool off, they'll go more towards retail. Then as it becomes old and the PS7 and 8 come out, the market will drop down to a few $100s. And then when it's completely sold out and you have the only one left, like you might have a brand new PlayStation 1's probably worth a fortune right now. So, you know, it just depends. You want to be first or last. Always first, you get the early adopter.
Come and Take It says, any tips for dealing with negative feedback? I just received my first and have 350 positive.
Nice. So, yes, we have a video in our group on how to remove negative feedback, but essentially I'll give you the short free version of it, which is call eBay or email eBay and ask them, it's better if you can talk to them, what they would recommend to do, right? Then write that down. Do that. You have to have free returns because free returns means you're doing everything you can to give the customer a good experience. So you didn't like the item, I'll pay for it for you to return it on my own dime. Then ask eBay what they would do. Do that. Then if they still don't change your feedback or revise it, call back to eBay and said you did exactly what they told you to do. You're asking for a courtesy removal. I have had pretty decent luck removing most negative feedback unless I totally drop the ball. So like as an example, I have a negative feedback right now from somebody that came to my live event. They bought a ticket to go to visit us in Pleasanton. They didn't show up, right? So then I had to carry that stuff back here and it got lost here and I could not find it. So they left me a negative feedback. So that's difficult to remove. But somebody bought a wholesale box from me. They weren't satisfied with the content, right? Left a negative feedback. They asked for a partial refund. And I said, no, I want to get the item back. So then they sent back the entire box. The feedback automatically falls off because I have free returns. So I currently do not want to offer partial refunds. So if somebody's not happy, I want to get the box back because I want to not train customers on eBay to buy things and to keep the item and get money back. So I think everybody should do that. That way we can stop people on eBay from buying stuff and getting a partial refund. I want to just make sure that, you know, it is what it is. We want to prevent buyers from abusing the system.
Yeah. Dave is asking, what is the logic of sellers when they post a common $80 shirt for 30% lower than retail compared to an 18K suit for 80 to 90% off lower than retail?
Essentially, it's like the perception of, is it a good deal or not? So if you're selling an Armani suit, it's only going to sell for $5,000 if you're at Armani. Like I was talking about earlier with Harrods, you have a shopping salon and the guy's hand and foot measuring you, doing that Armani suit, cool, $5,000. Me, I don't care about an Armani suit. So if you're going to post it on eBay, it needs to be 99.9% off and my exact size. Otherwise, I'm not going to buy it because I don't care. It has to be like, I'm looking for a suit and it's like the same price or $50 more than a Calvin Klein suit. And maybe I know Armani from a rap video, so I buy it. But I mean, otherwise, it's really hard to compete on eBay when the average customer is living paycheck to paycheck. Like, that's different. You have to do 99% off the super expensive stuff.
Mike C. has a question. Would you ever or do you sell Faded Glory, Novo, Time and True, etc.? For example, low profit, fast moving clothing items?
Usually those are low profit and slow moving, unfortunately. But I'm not opposed to selling a low profit item quickly. I like that. I like that model. Yeah, but those are horrible brands. I would try to steer clear of them if you can.
Gallery 408 says, that is my question. You say adjust your listings a lot. What do you mean by that?
I mean by improving the listings in case you didn't have the right photos, or you didn't have the right item specifics, or your price too high, or your return policy wasn't favorable. That's what I mean by adjust.
So take a look at your listing and...
The stuff that I have going up on Thursday, guys, is really good. We've got Ariat, Dixon, we've got some Looney Tunes stuff, we've got tons of outerwear because people like North Face, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a good auction this week.
That's on Whatnot?
On Whatnot.
This and that bargains. Question. Replenishable. Any tips on stock quantity for each item to maximize sales, or is it the same theory as single items, 100 converts to one sale a day?
I recommend 9 items for sale. That way it shows the almost sold out sometimes. And I like that showing when it says almost sold out, it makes customers
kind of sense of urgency.
Have a sense of urgency. So if you put 100 available, then I'll get it next week or never. But if it's almost sold out, gotta have it now. So that's how I recommend doing it. It is the same for sell-through rate. So if you have 100 tomatoes, right? And you sell 1 tomato a day, that's a 1% sell-through rate, but you only had 1 listing. So when you're a replenishable seller, you need to add up all your individual items.
Silweck says, do you track profit on every single item, or do you just sum up profits at the end of the month and deduct expenses?
We
We actually have a tax video going over what you do.
have a
Just
video going
categories.
over that. It was like 2 Fridays ago, and I do it by category. So I just do one line for shipping, one line for cost of goods sold, one line for, and then figure out my profit for the entire month.
Yeah, not line by line
Not
for
line by
every
line.
individual.
But I
item.
recommend you do line by line in the beginning.
Yeah, to learn where the fees are going and understand what your profits are. Heather says, I thought you didn't like running markdown sales because you can't change the price.
I don't. I do them sometimes when my items are old, but I would prefer not to.
Doug says, when should I get a store and which one?
So I need to make a video on this.
Yeah, we keep saying we need to make a
should probably
video on
make that video today.
Yeah.
So you pick the store depending on what your needs are and how many items you list. So when you have a store, you get discounted final value fees. So discounted final value fees are great because you pay less when you actually sell an item and you get less insertion fees. So I think around 500 or 600 items is when you should get a premium store. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you can also Google which eBay store should I get. And eBay has a really cool tool that will tell you for free what store you should get.
Jay Hearn says that jersey that you held up earlier,
Yeah.
it looks like a Mexican soccer team. I think it's normally yellow.
Okay.
Maybe. Might be a
got you.
jersey.
Got you. Might be.
Mark Weller says, Chris, shout out to Harry Tornado for mentioning you in his videos. I love
Awesome.
listening to you. I have learned a lot.
Awesome. Glad. Thank you, Josh, for shouting me out. I appreciate Harry Tornado. I actually tried to buy something from his Whatnot. My credit card failed.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I'm waiting for the new one to come, and I haven't been able to buy anything for a few days because my credit card
right.
expired.
Richie says, I am new to all of this. Do jeans sell well on eBay? Is it a good idea to go out to a thrift store and buy 30 pairs of jeans and then list them? What is the protocol for this?
I think about 1 million pairs of jeans sell every 90 days on eBay. But if you don't know what you're doing, you might sell 0. So you need to figure out which jeans sell and for how much, and figure out line by line how much profit you're making before you go do that. So yes, millions and millions and millions of jeans and millions of dollars worth of jeans are sold every single month on eBay. Tons.
Oh, I see. Binary Tim actually found the shirt with the weird logo. It's a Calamont High School boys varsity football.
Wow.
Wow, very specific.
Wow.
How did you find that?
That's amazing. So probably Google image, hopefully.
Yeah.
Pro tip. That's awesome. Thank you.
Let's see.
I have a lot of beers to buy people, so we're doing all this work.
Juan says, thank you so much. Truly appreciate your advice and the confidence you give us to rookie resellers. And I will start posting all my high goodies.
I love it. Love it.
Let's see. Puzzle piece. What are your thoughts on Goodwill selling more online? Is this going to end thrift store finds?
No, they've been doing that for years. So the Goodwill here is one of the largest eBay stores in the world. Goodwill of San Francisco does like $20 million a year. And that's where I get 99% of my stuff. So a store does $20 million a year. I get their leftover bits. Still do fine. So it doesn't affect it. You would too. If you were running a massive operation, you would take the best pieces for yourself.
Haley says Doberman pincers are the best guard dogs and great with kids.
Yeah, that's cool. It does scare me though, because a German Shepherd could eat my daughter in one bite because they're so big. So that does scare me because a Chihuahua would not be able to eat my daughter quickly.
It can be vicious though.
It can still munch at her, but that's why I'm worried. So it is a bit scary.
Let's see. Several repeating questions. Let's see. Tyson says, Chris, how long does it take for you to wash your clothing? Do you ever encounter damages or shrinkage? What's your process?
Bro, like nonstop. A lot of my items are damaged, stained, torn. I just do the best I can. I redonate most of it. So that's really the main problem with. I'm no longer in the fixing business. Don't marry a man that needs fixing. Get one that's done before you start. That's how I recommend you doing it. Because once you get an item, you're married to it. You're gonna list it. You're gonna love it, cherish it. You're gonna accept a free return. Is this Wisconsin? I think it is. Wisconsin? I forgot the mascot. Yeah, so before you get married, try to reduce it. But when you wash it, how long does it take me? It takes me however long a commercial laundry load takes. A while. Probably an hour per batch. Takes all day on Sunday to do this.
So you do all the washing on Sundays?
All the washing on Sunday. And so like right now, unfortunately, I'm working 6 days a week. So I'm working on improving that. So in the morning on Sunday, I go get all the stuff and then I wash all of it and then it comes here.
Mike C says it's not Wisconsin.
It's not? What is it?
Wisconsin are the Badgers. That must be a high school team.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. Another high school
like a
team.
tiger of some sort, yeah.
Okay, not Wisconsin.
Is a badger. Okay, badger.
Got you.
Brett says, hey Chris, if I'm the top rated seller, should all my sales get that 10% discount? I noticed none of the shoes I've sold get the top seller discount. Thanks for any feedback.
You have to be top rated seller plus to get the discount. And I think that has something to do with if you offer free returns and 1 day or less handling. So maybe those handling times are messed up. And you don't have free returns on those listings. So top rated and top rated plus discount are a little bit different. You can be top rated and not get the discount if you don't follow the terms.
Buzzstop Hustle says, what do you do when you sold an item but you can't find it for whatever reason?
So this is why I recommend a date-based system so that you can go back to when you listed the item. You'll get an email from eBay saying your listing was confirmed. Go back to that date to try to figure out what you listed around the same time to re-identify where it might be. That's the main way to avoid defects, is to still find the item. But otherwise, I would message the buyer, ask if they would be okay with something else in your store, and before taking an L and saying that you lost the item, because you can only take a couple of defects before you lose your account. So ask them, beg them to pick something else from your store. And you could also use some creative terminology like I do and say, I apologize, I was not able to find this dress. Would you like to cancel and get an immediate full refund? Or would you like to pick something else in my store? So I kind of gave them two options that both benefit me. So if they say cancel, I can put buyer requested to cancel. No harm, no foul. But eBay is becoming more and more strict on that, and they're looking at that email that you write and saying, you know what, you actually lost the item, so we're going to mark this as out of stock, and that's going to harm you. So do your best to get the buyer to cancel.
We got another super chat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shanku. They say, I live at least 45 minutes from the nearest retailer. Sorry about the train. But I live within 30 minutes of 7 liquidation/surplus stores. Thoughts? FBA?
Ooh,
Crosslist?
nice.
Just eBay?
This is great. So I always tell people to look for your advantage. So if your advantage is your uncle or brother or wherever you live has the plug on Army Surplus, you need to figure out where Army Surplus sells the best and then move all your business to that platform. That's what I recommend. So always sell on the platform that does best. So as an example, maybe you sell UGG boots. UGG boots are very fashionable. Maybe you get more money on Poshmark than you do eBay. In that scenario, maybe only Poshmark. So it depends on what you sell. If you're selling Poshmark gear, probably on Poshmark. If you're selling brand new iPads, I'd probably pick Amazon, because Amazon has the highest retail amount for it. Because I just bought an iPad on eBay and I got it for 30% off of retail, and you're not going to get that deal on Amazon. So it just depends on what you're looking for and where the item sells for the most.
Ming Han says, "Hi Chris, would you offer free returns on trading cards? Also, will I need to offer free returns in order to get the top rated plus benefits for trading cards?"
Yes. I think trading cards have a 14-day return window, but you still need to offer free returns. Yeah, so I would offer free returns. You have to get the discount.
Mindy is asking, if I crop my photos, which means it's no longer square, does this affect the eBay algorithm?
No, I don't crop my photos to square, and I'm doing just fine. But it looks better. If you can, I would.
Nerd Nation says, is there a call you'd recommend jumping into for getting more inventory? I primarily do video games and trading cards.
Yes, so I would hop into Jack's call on Friday. Jack is the master of online arbitrage. He also has a Bolo group of what to buy. I would join the group on Fridays. He does it at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ask Jack, because he's $1 million seller of video games on Amazon. Ask him where he gets his inventory, but I already know. He buys it on eBay. So buying bulk lots on eBay is where 99% of people get their inventory for video games.
Thank you again for another super chat, Shanku. They say, my bad, I should have left surplus out. These liquidation stores have all kinds of different things to sell. So
two things.
Yeah.
To finish the video game thought, and thank you for the super chat. Brad, he is, I think, one of the largest video game sellers in the world. He has 45 employees. He has 250,000 feedback on eBay from buying. Okay, think about how crazy that is. He's bought 250,000 video game lots on eBay to resell back on eBay and Amazon. So that's where you get video games, in my opinion. So the surplus, it's hard because when you buy surplus, unless it's all in one category, then I would recommend only eBay, because if it's only one type of thing, you can figure out whatever platform is best for it. In fact, like let's say you were selling spy gear, maybe spygear.com, if that exists, is better for selling spy gear than eBay. But if it's spy gear and snowboarding gear and bike parts and tires and puppets, then eBay, because eBay is the only platform that you can sell everything. So if you can find one specific place where you can sell it for more money, I would go there. Like musical instruments, I've heard there's a much better website than eBay that only focuses on that. If you're just selling brand new sneakers, maybe StockX is better than eBay. So depends on what you sell. Let's see.
Spencer is asking, when is the Pokemon plush? Did I miss it?
You missed it. Sold all of it last week. So I got really tired doing Pokemon, so I will not be doing. I will do one more Pokemon auction for fun, and then I'm gonna call it a day. I've got. I'm gonna break. Let's see. I'm gonna break these 3 Pokemon packs for fun on Whatnot, and then I'm gonna I'll either sell or auction off the rest of my Pokemon cards, because I'm over it. So I have a pretty good collection of Pokemon cards, and I'm gonna get rid of all of it because I no longer care. So I would love to. Okay, I'll just be honest with you guys. I'm gonna figure out how to make my eBay store passive. Okay, so Christine and I will only come in here to just make sure things are running okay. I'm looking for a manager to run the store, and I'll probably give that person part ownership of the store, so I don't have to come in. So I don't know how to do that, don't know how to set that up, but I would like to figure out if there's life outside of reselling. Right now, all I'm doing is doing this nonstop all day. I sell all day. I have the mastermind group where I talk to people who do it all day. All I do is this. So is there life beyond this? Maybe. So I like to figure out what there is to do. Love being a dad. That's fun. So I don't know. Is there life? There's not even more time. All I do is, and resell, talk about reselling, have a YouTube channel about reselling, right? Hang out with my family. We're doing a lot more cooking these days. I figure it's better to, because the price of eating out is so ridiculous, I'd rather just buy whatever I want at the grocery store and try to cook it as my entertainment right now. And I'm also joining a gym. So I'm gonna close down a couple of these units. I'm not gonna work out here. That was a ridiculous idea. And then I'll call it a day. I wanna look for something beyond reselling. I literally do this all day. And it's making me question my existence. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to scale back a little bit and not resell 24/7.
Mindy says, be sure to check with your homeowner's insurance company before getting a new dog. They either don't allow or charge higher rates for a certain breed of dogs.
That's true.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah, that's true. But I like Burmese mountain dogs. They're so awesome. I love those. I love Saint Bernards. I love Huskies. I love German Shepherds.
Brian is asking, why have you elected to sell on eBay and not so much on Amazon?
Oh, the reason is because I feel like Amazon just changes the rules all the time, and it's also race to the bottom, and I don't want to do that. I like being on eBay. It's better for used goods. I've picked used clothing as my category, and used clothing is not very good on Amazon. Depending on what I sell, Amazon would be good, but in this scenario, for what I sell, which is clothing, eBay is better.
Thrifty Space Queen says, do you wash everything or just what needs washing?
Most of the stuff gets washed. There's just a handful of things that do not get washed, like jeans. Most jeans do not get washed, but it depends. It depends on what it is, because I like to go towards higher end women's jeans, and those definitely need to be washed, or washed twice in the case of that pair of mother jeans.
Aaron is asking, Chris, I'm just starting in clothing, mostly men's shirts.
Yep.
I'm staying with a few brands like Columbia, Nike, Patagonia, Mossy Oakland, Van Heusen. Should I keep on with these brands? Sorry, I said that wrong.
Those are fine. Van Heusen's horrible, so don't sell that brand. It's all right, but it's like not very good in my opinion. I would replace that with like Mizzen Main or Untuck It or Polo. Even Tommy Hilfiger is better than Van Heusen. I would stay away from George, stay away from Banana Republic because there's just too many of it. So button-down shirts is fine. Let's see. I'm going to be selling those wholesale for $4 to $5 a piece. So I don't want to sell those anymore, even though that's a really, really, really good seller for me on eBay because people will buy more than one. I don't like the process of doing it on the flat lay, because when I'm doing a shirt, I have to put it down there. There's a lot more wrinkles. There's more staging, more pictures, more issues for returns. So I would like to just be all outerwear jeans, and even though jeans have a high a high return rate, I like how easy it is to photograph. And dresses. I feel like dresses, sweaters, outerwear, those are better.
JD is asking, how does an eBay store take a vacation as far as shipping items go? What if you want to go out of town for 2 weeks? How would you handle that?
My new opinion is just shut the store down. Actually take a vacation, come back and turn it on. 1 week later after listing, your store will be back to normal. There's no one that has told me that eBay did not forgive them for taking a break. eBay's 24/7, you don't have to be 24/7. You can do it however you like. You could also be like my colleague Tech and Sports and not take vacation for 13 years and just never miss your listing habit and make millions of dollars. So what he's gonna do is take all the vacation at the end of his life. So if you don't set up your life like that, and you want to take, like I don't do that. I take vacation as I'm going through. So either have somebody ship for you, or you can just turn your store off. I'm gonna aim for turning my store off. I'm at 6,000 listings today. I'll be at 7,000 listings soon. And I think I'm just gonna shut it off when I go on vacation and come back. So it's just too much hassle. I did it. I went to Japan 2 years ago and I turned my store. I delayed my shipping for 2 weeks. And when I came back, there was like a bajillion things to ship. I will not do that again.
Yeah.
It was just like, yes, you do make money when you're gone.
But like it's such a headache when you come back.
And then at night, I would go in and email people while eating Japanese snacks and be like, yo, I'm not going to be back for 13 days. I'm not going to be back for 12 days. I'm not going to be back for 11 days. It's like I don't even...
It's like not really a vacation.
It's not really a vacation.
Yeah.
So, although if you're an entrepreneur, you don't get paid unless you do it. So,
yeah,
something to consider.
Brandon is asking, what words do you use to look up bulk listings?
Lot,
Yeah.
wholesale, surplus, brand, and whatever the brand is that I'm looking for, and I search high to low. So I'll search Patagonia high to low. Try to find people who are selling 10 Patagonia pieces or 20 Patagonia pieces. That's how I look.
I started my store a couple months ago listing 5 a day using your advice from the channel. I'm now a little over 100 items and selling about 3 items per day. It's amazing. Thanks for your help.
I love it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's amazing. So that's the kind of story that I want to hear. Listen to the advice. Have 100 items. Sell at least 1 item a day. You're in good shape. If you're selling 3 items with 100 and you get to 200 and you're still selling 3 items a day, it's okay to take a break. Go back, look at your listings, make sure things that are still crunching, you're still listing similar items. And remember, if you list 5 of the exact same item, sometimes it slows your sell-through down a lot because there's not enough buyers to buy that same thing over and over again. That's why it's good to have a little bit of variety in the types of styles and brands that you have, but staying in the same category. So you don't monopolize your own sales because there's only so many people looking for that brand. Let's do maybe 5 more.
Okay. Alex is asking, which is the best site for toy selling? Which is the best day to list an item?
Any day is fine. It's more important to list every day than a specific day. Best site for toys, probably eBay. Maybe Amazon if you're selling brand new toys. But eBay and Amazon are going to be number 1 and 2 for toys.
James is asking, how do you handle scammers? I tried to sell 4 or 5 items a year ago. 3 scammers tried to get me to send money first in the form of gift cards. Since then, I've been...
Just got to sell more items. When they target beginners. So
yeah, they target beginners.
If you haven't done it for a while or you're only listing a few items and they're going to come after you and they're probably going to be able to scam you because you don't know what you're doing. But if you've been selling for a while, then you don't have to worry about scammers because they only target beginners. Just have to sell more items. Once you sell 100 items,
Hello.
how you doing? Once you,
I lost your email and your web information.
so I'm recording right now, but maybe it's cool. We'll come back and I'll get it from you in a little bit. No, you're fine. Okay.
Let's see. Mindy says, Chris, at the risk of being nosy, do you feel as though you are burning out?
No, absolutely not. I did spend the day yesterday at the cemetery, visiting and paying respects to older people, or dead people rather. And it did make me think that I just want to be using my time the wisest that I can. I'm not burned out though. I actually want more stuff. I like selling stuff because I feel like there's a lot of value in delivering a service or a product to a person, but not burning out. I just want to find something else to do that's something different because this is cool, but I would like to see if there's other stuff. That's why I don't recommend that my daughter be an entrepreneur because yes, you will make more money, but what do you do after you've already made it? Like at a certain point, money is meaningless. So I like her to find meaning in her work beyond just making money. Because yes, if you skip college and you just go straight from college, straight from high school, because I want her to at least go to high school. If you go from high school and getting really good at an occupation, you'll be rich by 30, even without your parents' help. If you just spend 12 years working on something, you'll be rich, but there's more to life than that. Because I know people who are 30 and retired and they don't have anything to do and they haven't, it's weird. It's like, but people who are really into something, like if she was into marine biology or something and she was studying octopuses, then she could do that forever and it would be more interesting. Like there's more to life than just making millions and millions of dollars, in my opinion. 1 to 5 million is enough and most people can do that. 11 million people have done it. So that's a lot.
07 SAT says, what happens when you shut the store, but during vacation an item is returned and you were not there?
Just have free returns and deal with it when you get back. If you really want to take a vacation, then just take a vacation. Shut your store off. Don't deal with it. You might get a negative feedback while you're gone. Deal with it when you get back. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I have 53 negative feedback. I wish I could have prevented those, and I'll do a better job in the future, but it doesn't shut your store down.
LSGS Rob says, hey Chris, have you read The 4-Hour Work Week? If not, I would recommend that you do, because that sounds like what you want to do after reselling.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm looking right now to hire someone to help me to the point where, I mean, it's already pretty passive. Only thing that I do is ship and customer service. It's not that hard. And I used to have a shipper, so I didn't have to do that. But it's like I'm only working about 2 hours in my store now. So 4-hour work week is a little aggressive. I would say it's like maybe 14-hour work week. So not quite at the 4-hour work week. But once I hire someone to take over the store, it'll be a 4-hour work week, no problem. So I do like Tim Ferriss. I listen to his podcast a lot. But I'm just, yeah, to a certain degree, I like doing it. And I would be kind of a fraud if I just didn't have an eBay store at all, because that's what my channel is about. So have to be a big store, in my opinion, I would feel weird if my store was under 3,000 items, because that's not very big. But it is interesting because from here forward, from this part forward in my storage unit is 3,000 items. So I could have a store that's just this big and still feel legit, and I could 100% have that be passive. 3,000 item store, sell 30, list 30 a day, $100,000 in profit. I could do that right now. I could just, you guys know Angie, she could run my store. If I decided, Angie, instead of listing 105 a day, you're gonna list 30 a day and do the rest of the store, she'd be like, thanks boss, much easier life. Because listing 105 items a day is harder than running a 30 item store. So she knows how. Christine could run the store. So if I really want to be passive, what I'll do is I'll just let them run the store while I go do something. But I don't mind doing the 2 to 3 hours of work a day. And plus, I double dipped today. I did the prep for the whole week while talking to you guys. So that's a double dipping. I've separated it. In the front is going to be eBay, and this is going to be on Whatnot on Thursday. So I've separated it out. This is younger, older. That's the how I did it. Younger people, older people.
Question from Ben. Do you price seasonal items at the same price year-round or lower price if off-season?
I price the same price year-round because my category is not that seasonal. But you can do a couple bucks higher on outerwear in the winter, a couple bucks higher on outdoor wear in the summer, if you decide to go that route. But I just sell it year-round.
Well, we've been going for about 9 to 7 minutes.
All right.
So I think maybe
Wait, one more,
okay.
one more, and we'll call it.
Let's see. Alex says, how long should a listing be on eBay? A 7-day or 5-day or 3-day, or does it matter?
Good till canceled, forever.
Yeah.
That's a great. It's both depressing and inspiring at the same time. That your store will be open forever and earn money forever, but you also have to do work forever. It's a bit weird, but it is what it is. We'll call it at that. But appreciate you guys. Please smash the like button. Consider subscribing. Join our Patreon group at patreon.com/theresourcepodcast. It's been growing really well because people are finding value. And I'm noticing a lot of people are signing up for the annual, and I recommend that because you get an 18% discount if you buy the whole year. So appreciate you guys.
Link is in the description.
Link is in the description,
right?
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks for hanging out, everyone. See you next week.